Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. In this video we're gonna take a closer look at RTIArms P-3 rifle. This rifle is the third version of the Prophet line. We're gonna review the P-3 in detail, see its features, upgrades and differences compared to previous generations. The P-3 and basically whole Prophet line and even new model RTI Mora is the evolution of company's first model, RTI Priest. So there's so many similarities and resemblance between prophets and priests. Starting from the back end, the buttstock consists of two parts. This rubber pad, which you can remove like this, and the stainless steel butt plate. And the plate is adjustable for up or down. You just loosen these 4 screws and adjust it as you like this, and then you can tighten back the screws. This is the Prophet 1's action. You can see the differences between rear blocks. As you can see, in Prophet 1, buttstock made of aluminum, and it's secured in place by these 4 screws, and it's threaded to receive hammer spring tension adjustment screw. It is the same in P1, P2 and Priest 2, I think. In P3 there's a wheel for hammer spring tension adjustment, and it's secured in place by the butt plate. You can adjust the hammer spring tension without any tools such as Allen keys, which is very nice. Clockwise to decrease and counterclockwise to increase the tension. This is the hammer spring tension adjustment wheel. There's a spring-loaded captive ball bearing here underneath the wheel, as you can see. It matches to these dimples on the wheel, so when you rotate the wheel you hear a nice positive click, and it retains your adjustments for hammer spring. As I said before, you don't need any tool to adjust the hammer spring tension, which is a really nice upgrade to previous generations, I think. And here you can see the wheel. Let's take a look at the hammer spring. This is P3 hammer spring compared to P1 hammer spring. As you can see, there's some differences between them. The P3 hammer spring is a bit shorter and has a thinner wire. I believe P2 hammer spring is just like P1. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is the P3 hammer. It is a new design for hammer, specific to P3. As you can see, there's relief cuts on the hammer body for lowering the weight. This hammer is relatively light, which should be because of valve operating system. It weighs approximately 20 grams. On the other side, there's this colorway. It acts like a rail, and it corresponds to this little pin on a slider piece. So when you are cocking the rifle, that little pin catches the hammer like this and pulls it back. You can see its movement. In previous versions of Prophets and also in Priest, the slider piece catches a pellet probe housing and pushes it back. The hammer is connected to probe housing, so hammer get pushed along with the probe housing. You can see the differences in this system with P3. Basically, in P3, the hammer and probe housing movements are separated. As a result, cocking is much smoother compared to previous generations. You can see the differences between two hammers. There is no specific change on pellet probe housing itself, but the access cut for changing the pellet probe placed a bit forward, so there is no need to fully cock the rifle for swapping the probe. Another thing is a pellet probe grub screw. It was an 4x4 screw in previous versions, P1 and P2. But in the P3 it is an M5x4, so there is less chance to get stripped. This is my rifle's .22 pellet probe. This probe is exactly like P1 and P2. However, in other P3s the shape of this part is different. Here you can see the difference. Another new feature in P3 is the barrel grub screws. There is 2 barrel grub screws in P3. The third one is just a plug for sealing the hole. This is the sealing screw. As you can see, the O-ring is placed around the screw instead of underneath. Overall, I much prefer this system over previous ones. Drilling the transfer port in factory is done through this hole. So this hole is unavoidable in the process of manufacturing. The P3 does have a 70cc dual plenum, just like P2. These plugs are removable and you can add 2 plenum extensions for extra volume. But 70cc is perfectly sufficient unless you want to gain crazy amounts of power. And this is the Plenum extension in Prophet 1. The P1 has 57cc plenum. I forgot to mention the cheek piece. It is another new feature in P3, and with loosening these 2 screws you can adjust the cheek piece for your preference, like this. You can adjust the height, and you can tilt the cheek piece like this or like this. And the cheek piece is ambidextrous, so you can mount it on the other side with using these 2 screw holes.